If you bought a motorcycle from any of these 5 brands in the last 3 years, you're about to discover something that'll make your stomach drop. And you're not the only one. Right now, while riders everywhere are posting their bikes for sale in desperation, dealerships are quietly refusing trade-ins from these manufacturers. Mechanics across the country are calling this the biggest motorcycle industry collapse since Harley's AMF disaster. This happened because these companies bet everything on electric futures and Chinese manufacturing partnerships that just imploded. We're talking about brands hemorrhaging millions per quarter, laying off thousands of workers, and leaving owners with bikes worth less than half their purchase price. So if you own one of these motorcycles, you need to see this before it's too late. Here are the 5 motorcycle brands filing for bankruptcy that smart riders are dumping immediately. Hit subscribe, like this video, and tell me if you own any of these bikes. But before we start, this information could save you thousands if you act quickly. Number 5. Victory Motorcycles. Victory Motorcycles was once considered America's bold challenger to Harley-Davidson. Their downfall began 3 years ago when quarterly financial reports revealed catastrophic losses of $87 million in a single quarter. This wasn't just a bad season. It represented the culmination of years of strategic miscalculations that have now reached critical mass. The company's parent corporation, Polaris Industries, initially tried to downplay the severity, but internal documents tell a different story. Victory has been hemorrhaging cash at an alarming rate, with total accumulated debt now exceeding $340 million. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They represent a death spiral that's impossible to pull out of. What's truly alarming is the speed of Victory's infrastructure collapse. Their manufacturing facility in Spirit Lake, Iowa, has reduced operations by 78%, with production lines that once hummed with activity now sitting idle. The most devastating indicator came last month when the company quietly initiated a massive layoff, eliminating over 600 positions primarily in engineering, quality control, and customer service, the very departments crucial for supporting existing riders. For current Victory owners, this bankruptcy creates immediate and severe consequences. Warranty claim rejections have increased by 340% in just 6 months. Dealerships report that Victory is systematically denying claims that would have been routinely approved just a year ago, citing increasingly obscure policy clauses. The message is clear. The company is desperately trying to minimize cash outflow, even at the expense of loyal customers. The parts availability crisis has reached critical levels. Frank Martino, owner of Motorhead Motorcycle Service in Phoenix, told me directly, "I've got 3 Victory bikes sitting in my shop that I can't fix. Basic components like fuel pumps, electrical modules, and transmission parts are simply unavailable. I've had to tell customers their bikes are essentially paperweights until further notice." This sentiment is echoed throughout the industry. A private Facebook group for motorcycle mechanics has been documenting the Victory parts shortage for months, with technicians reporting wait times exceeding 16 weeks for critical components, if they can be found at all. Some mechanics have resorted to cannibalizing used bikes just to keep customers on the road. The impact on resale value has been devastating. Data from motorcycle auctions shows Victory models losing between 38 to 45% of their value in just 12 months, nearly double the depreciation rate of other brands. Bikes that sold for $18,000 new are now fetching less than $10,000 at dealer auctions, with values continuing to plummet as the bankruptcy proceedings advance. If you currently own a Victory motorcycle, immediate action is essential. First, document everything related to your bike: purchase agreement, maintenance records, and especially any outstanding warranty claims. Victory's imminent bankruptcy filing will likely include provisions to void existing warranty obligations, but comprehensive documentation improves your position if class action litigation emerges. Second, consider selling immediately if you're not emotionally attached to your bike. The resale market is deteriorating weekly, and waiting even 3 months could mean thousands in additional losses. If selling isn't an option, source essential maintenance parts now while they're still available. Focus on wear items like brake components, clutch parts, and electrical modules that commonly fail. Number 4. Agusta, the storied Italian manufacturer of exotic sport bikes, is experiencing a catastrophic corporate meltdown that few outside industry insiders fully comprehend. What began as whispers about financial instability has erupted into full-scale organizational chaos. The executive suite has become a revolving door, with 5 different CEOs in just 36 months. Each new leader has arrived with grandiose turnaround plans, only to depart months later as financial realities proved insurmountable. Just last quarter, the entire board of directors was replaced following a disastrous shareholder meeting where Q3 losses of 68 million euros were disclosed, representing a 213% increase over the previous year's already troubling figures. MV Agusta's desperate search for financial salvation has led nowhere. Negotiations with potential investors, including a prominent Chinese motorcycle conglomerate and 2 European automotive groups, all collapsed in the final stages. Industry sources confirm that due diligence revealed debt levels approaching 290 million euros, far higher than what MV had disclosed publicly. Perhaps most telling is the company's irrational allocation of resources. While struggling to make payroll, MV Agusta inexplicably increased its racing sponsorship budget by 8 million euros and launched an extravagant global marketing campaign featuring A-list celebrities. These decisions drained crucial operating capital while doing nothing to address fundamental business problems. The product line has suffered catastrophically from these financial constraints. The F3 and Brutale models, once celebrated for Italian craftsmanship, now exhibit alarming defect rates. Independent quality assessments reveal that 2023 models have a 28% higher failure rate than 2021 bikes, with electrical systems and engine management components being particularly problematic. The company's attempts to hide these issues have largely failed. Internal documents show that warranty claim costs exceeded 14 million euros last year, more than triple what the company had budgeted. This led directly to the recall disaster that further damaged the brand when MV Agusta lacked sufficient funds to properly execute critical safety recalls, leaving thousands of bikes with potentially dangerous throttle control and brake issues. Engineering shortcuts have become standard practice as desperate cost-cutting measures take precedence over quality. A former MV Agusta engineer who recently left for Ducati told me, "We were forced to approve components that never would have passed testing standards 2 years ago." The pressure to reduce costs meant using inferior materials in critical applications. I left because I couldn't put my name on bikes I wouldn't ride myself. The dealer network is collapsing at an accelerating pace. In North America alone, 32 exclusive MV Agusta dealerships have either closed entirely or dropped the brand in the past 18 months. The remaining dealers report parts order fulfillment rates below 40%, with critical components on indefinite backorder. Service departments are in crisis, unable to properly maintain the complex motorcycles. Training programs for technicians have been eliminated, and the technical support hotline for dealers now goes unanswered for days. One prominent Los Angeles dealer told me confidentially, "We've stopped taking deposits on new MVs because we have no confidence they'll ever be delivered." The last shipment arrived with multiple bikes damaged from improper crating, clear evidence of chaos at the factory. The financial endgame is approaching rapidly. Goldman Sachs analysts predict formal bankruptcy proceedings within 120 days, with liquidation of assets beginning even sooner. The company's historic factory in Varese, Italy, has already been listed with commercial real estate brokers, though this fact has been carefully concealed from the motorcycle press. For current MV Agusta owners, the situation demands immediate attention. The service and parts pipeline is drying up quickly, and values are plummeting. Auction data shows late-model MVs selling for 52% below book value, with high-end models like the F4 RC suffering even greater depreciation. If you own an MV, selling now, even at a significant loss, may be the only way to avoid being left with an essentially worthless motorcycle in the near future. Number 3. Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield, the world's oldest continuously produced motorcycle brand, is facing an existential crisis that few would have predicted just 3 years ago. The company that successfully reinvented itself for the modern era through affordable retro models has now become a cautionary tale of electric transition disaster. The numbers tell a grim story. Royal Enfield has invested $380 million in electric motorcycle development over the past 4 years, representing nearly 40% of their total capital expenditure. This massive bet has yielded 0 production models while draining resources from their profitable core business. Industry analysts estimate that the company's electric prototype program is running 237% over budget, with no viable production timeline in sight. This pivot has alienated Royal Enfield's traditional customer base, riders who specifically chose the brand for its mechanical simplicity and classic design philosophy. Internal market research accidentally leaked online revealed that 76% of current Royal Enfield owners expressed extreme dissatisfaction with the company's electric focus, with 64% stating they would not consider purchasing an electric Royal Enfield, regardless of specifications. Meanwhile, the electric models under development have failed spectacularly in pre-production testing. The flagship electric Himalayan prototype achieved just 42% of its targeted range, while the electric Classic suffered catastrophic battery thermal management failures during hot weather testing in India. Sales projections have been revised downward 5 times in the past year, with the latest figures showing expected volumes 78% below what would be needed to achieve profitability. Quality control across the entire product line has collapsed as resources were diverted to the failing electric program. Defect rates on current production models have increased by 118% in just 18 months. Consumer Reports documented a particularly alarming rise in critical system failures, with new Royal Enfield motorcycles experiencing major mechanical issues at 4.3 times the industry average. Specific mechanical problems have become so common, they've gained nicknames among owners. The Himalayan Shake refers to catastrophic engine mount failures that have resulted in multiple crashes. Interceptor Roulette describes the unpredictable electrical system issues that leave riders stranded without warning. Most concerning are the widespread brake system failures on 2022 to 2023 models, which have attracted regulatory scrutiny in multiple countries. Customer complaints have reached such volume that Royal Enfield's Consumer Affairs Department has essentially collapsed. The average response time for warranty claims has increased from 8 days to 67 days, with many customers reporting complete radio silence after filing reports. The company's supply chain strategy has proven equally disastrous. Royal Enfield's partnership with 3 Chinese manufacturing facilities for critical components has imploded amid geopolitical tensions between India and China. These facilities, which produced 40% of Royal Enfield's electrical components, fuel system parts, and precision engine components, have ceased shipments entirely, creating manufacturing chaos. Component shortages now affect every model in the lineup. Production efficiency has plummeted, with manufacturing costs increasing by 34% per unit due to supply chain disruptions and last-minute sourcing from alternative vendors at premium prices. This cost increase has destroyed profit margins on every motorcycle sold. The company now loses approximately $940 on each 650 cubic centimeter twin model and $420 on each 350 cubic centimeter single. Royal Enfield's market position has deteriorated dramatically as these problems compound. Sales figures from key markets tell the story. India, down 41%, Europe, down 58%, and North America, down 67%, compared to 2 years ago. This sales collapse has created a cash flow crisis, with the company now burning through $14 million monthly, with no reversal in sight. Brand perception surveys reveal an even more troubling long-term problem. Consumer trust in Royal Enfield has fallen from 78% to 31% in just 24 months, a collapse that marketing experts describe as potentially unrecoverable. Particularly damaging was the company's response to the brake system recall, which initially blamed riders for improper maintenance, before internal documents revealed engineers had warned about the defect before production. If you currently own a Royal Enfield, immediate action is essential. First, have your motorcycle comprehensively inspected by an independent mechanic, particularly focusing on electrical systems, brake components, and engine mounts. Document any defects thoroughly, as warranty service will become increasingly difficult to obtain. Second, consider your long-term ownership plans realistically. Parts availability is already becoming problematic, with dealers reporting 60-plus day waits for routine maintenance items. This situation will only worsen as bankruptcy proceedings advance. If you depend on your Royal Enfield for regular transportation, now is the time to consider alternatives before resale values collapse completely. Number 2. Ducati. Ducati, the revelation that this iconic Italian brand is on the brink of bankruptcy, has sent shockwaves through the motorcycle industry. This isn't just another struggling manufacturer. This is Ducati, the aspirational brand that has represented the pinnacle of motorcycle design and performance for generations. The company's debt crisis came to light through a financial audit mandated by parent company Audi AG. What they discovered was staggering. Ducati has accumulated 475 million euros in hidden debt through a complex series of subsidiary financing arrangements deliberately structured to keep liabilities off the main corporate balance sheet. This accounting manipulation temporarily masked the severity of Ducati's financial problems, but the truth can no longer be contained. The consequences have been swift and severe. Moody's downgraded Ducati's credit rating by 3 full steps to junk status last month, triggering a cascade of supplier problems. Key component manufacturers, concerned about payment security, have begun demanding cash in advance terms that have strained Ducati's already precarious cash position. Most alarming is the violation of loan covenants with the European Investment Bank, which has triggered immediate repayment demands for 210 million euros. Ducati simply doesn't have these funds available, creating the immediate liquidity crisis that has pushed the company to the brink of formal bankruptcy proceedings. The company's engineering department, once the crown jewel of the motorcycle industry, is experiencing an unprecedented talent exodus. In the past 18 months, 37 senior engineers and designers have departed for competitors, primarily Aprilia, KTM, and surprisingly, several Chinese manufacturers offering substantial salary increases. These departures represent an incalculable loss of institutional knowledge that took decades to develop. The brain drain has completely derailed Ducati's product development pipeline. The next generation, Panigale, originally scheduled for 2024 release, has been pushed back indefinitely. The planned V4 Multistrada replacement has been cancelled entirely. Most concerning for the company's future, the revolutionary hybrid powertrain project that was to form the basis of Ducati's compliance with European emissions regulations has stalled with no solution in sight. Alessandro Vaglia, Ducati's legendary test rider of 30 years, resigned last quarter with a public statement that sent tremors through the industry. For the first time in my career, I no longer believe in the direction of the company or the quality of what we are producing. When a figure of such standing abandons ship, it signals fundamental problems that can't be easily fixed. The customer service infrastructure is collapsing under financial constraints. Average response times for warranty claims have increased from 3 days to 47 days in just 6 months. The Bologna call center that once provided dedicated technical support to dealerships worldwide has been reduced to a skeleton staff, with hold times exceeding 3 hours for urgent technical consultations. Dealer training programs, once the gold standard of the industry, have been eliminated entirely. A service manager from a prominent New York Ducati dealership told me, "We're flying blind on the new models. Without factory training, we're relying on YouTube videos and owner forums to figure out the complex electronic systems. It's embarrassing and dangerous. The signs of liquidation preparation are becoming impossible to ignore." Ducati has begun selling off non-essential assets at an accelerating pace. The company's historic test track near Bologna has been listed for sale, along with their racing department's separate facility. Manufacturing equipment from their Thailand factory, which produced lower-cost models, has already been sold to a Vietnamese manufacturer. Most telling, industry sources confirm that Ducati has engaged Lazard to quietly shop their intellectual property portfolio to potential buyers. Patents for the desmodromic valve system, V4 engine architecture, and advanced electronic control systems, the crown jewels of Ducati's technical achievements, are being valued for potential sale. This is the corporate equivalent of selling organs to pay rent, a desperate move that signals the end is near. For current Ducati owners, the implications are severe. The sophisticated motorcycles require specialized service and parts that will become increasingly difficult to obtain. Values are already plummeting, with late-model Panigales and Multistradas trading at 40 to 50% below expected values at auction. This depreciation will accelerate dramatically once bankruptcy proceedings become public. If you own a Ducati, particularly a model with sophisticated electronics or limited production numbers, immediate action is essential. First, establish a relationship with independent specialists who may be able to service your bike when the dealer network collapses. Second, source critical maintenance components now before the parts supply chain disintegrates completely. Finally, make an honest assessment of whether to sell immediately or commit to the challenges of owning an orphaned premium motorcycle. Number 1. Harley-Davidson. The revelation that will shock the motorcycle world to its core. Harley-Davidson, America's motorcycle icon for over a century, is headed for bankruptcy. This isn't speculation or sensationalism. It's the unavoidable conclusion drawn from financial data, internal documents, and industry intelligence that paints a picture of imminent collapse. Harley-Davidson isn't just another motorcycle manufacturer. It's a cultural institution that has defined American motorcycling for generations. The bar and shield logo represents more than transportation. It symbolizes a distinctly American ideal of freedom and individualism. The company has weathered world wars, the Great Depression, and numerous recessions, always emerging resilient, until now. Industry veterans are stunned by the speed of Harley's decline. Peter Henshaw, former editor of American Iron magazine, told me, "I've covered Harley-Davidson for 30 years and never imagined we'd be discussing their bankruptcy. This is like watching an American flag fall. Something you believe is permanent suddenly revealed as fragile." The fatal mistakes that brought down this giant are now clear in hindsight. The company's live-wire electric motorcycle project has been a financial catastrophe of unprecedented scale. Harley invested over $1.2 billion in electric technology development and manufacturing infrastructure, yet sold fewer than 1,900 live-wire motorcycles globally last year. Each bike effectively cost the company $631,000 to produce when development costs are factored in. This electric gamble came precisely when Harley should have been doubling down on their core strengths. Instead of refining the touring and cruiser models that loyal customers wanted, resources were diverted to chasing a market that didn't exist. Internal marketing studies revealed that 82% of existing Harley owners had zero interest in electric motorcycles, yet management ignored this crucial data. Compounding this strategic error, Harley made catastrophic misjudgments about their customer base. The decision to eliminate popular models, like the Softail Slim and Lowrider in favor of adventure and sport models, alienated core customers without successfully attracting new ones. The adventure touring Pan America, while technically impressive, has sold at just 22% of projected volumes, while costing over $190 million to develop. Financial commitments made during more prosperous times have become unbearable burdens. The company's Milwaukee headquarters expansion, new factory in Thailand, and massive New York City showroom represented over $400 million in capital expenditures that now drain resources when cash preservation is critical. The Thailand factory is operating at just 31% capacity, yet financial obligations for the facility continue at 100%. The current crisis scope exceeds anything in the company's modern history. Quarterly losses have reached $267 million, dwarfing even the darkest days of the 2008 financial crisis. Cash reserves have dwindled to dangerous levels, with just enough liquidity to maintain operations for approximately 7 months without additional financing that banks are increasingly reluctant to provide. The human toll is mounting daily. Harley-Davidson has eliminated 3,400 positions globally in the past 18 months, with another 2,800 layoffs announced but not yet implemented. These cuts have affected every aspect of the business, from manufacturing to design to marketing. The York, Pennsylvania assembly plant has reduced shifts from 3 to 1, while the company's powertrain facility in Milwaukee has shut down 2 production lines entirely. Operations are contracting globally at an alarming rate. Harley-Davidson has completely ceased operations in 13 countries over the past year, with another 9 markets slated for exit by year's end. The company has closed 87 dealerships in North America alone, with dealers reporting that corporate support has essentially vanished. For current Harley owners, the bankruptcy will have far-reaching implications. Warranty coverage is already being restricted, with claims being denied for increasingly technical reasons. A dealership service manager in Texas confirmed, "We're seeing warranty claims rejected that would have been automatic approvals a year ago." Corporate is clearly trying to minimize cash outflows at all costs. The parts availability timeline is particularly concerning. While common maintenance items will likely remain available through third-party suppliers, specialized components specific to Harley models will become increasingly scarce. Industry analysts predict critical part shortages beginning within 6 to 8 months of bankruptcy filing, with the situation deteriorating rapidly thereafter. The resale market has already begun pricing in Harley's collapse, with late-model touring bikes depreciating at twice normal rates. Most vulnerable are 2021 to 2023 models with sophisticated infotainment systems and electronic features that require dealer-level diagnostic equipment to service. Some specialized models have lost over 40% of their value in just 12 months, with steeper declines inevitable once bankruptcy is officially announced. If you currently own a Harley-Davidson, time is of the essence. First, get any pending service or warranty issues addressed immediately, while dealer support still exists. Second, document all maintenance meticulously to help maintain what value remains in your motorcycle. Finally, make an honest assessment of your attachment to the bike. Sentimental value may justify keeping it despite the challenges ahead, but understand that financial value will continue to erode rapidly. The bankruptcy of these 5 iconic brands reveals a pattern that's reshaping the entire motorcycle industry. Each collapsed under the weight of misguided electric investments, quality control failures, and fundamental disconnects from their customer base. The warning signs were there: declining quality, vanishing dealer support, and desperate financial maneuvers, but few riders recognized them until it was too late. This isn't just about these 5 companies. It's a seismic shift that will affect every rider. Prices for reliable brands will surge as options diminish. Parts and service for these bankrupt motorcycles will become nightmares, and the industry will emerge fundamentally changed with fewer choices and higher costs. Ask yourself, which brand will fall next? Are you still pouring money into a depreciating asset? The motorcycle landscape is changing forever, and only informed riders will protect their investments. Comment below with which brand shocked you most, and if you think another manufacturer is next. Subscribe now. Our next investigation exposes which motorcycle dealer groups are secretly refusing trade-ins from these brands. You can't afford to miss it.